Rudy. We are standing 6 feet underground under the intersection of Atlantic Avenue and Court Street, where we are about to visit the world's oldest subway tunnel. It runs under the length of Atlantic Avenue, practically all the way to the water, an old stretch of Long Island Railroad. And we are going to visit Robert Diamond, who is leading us on a tour of the tunnel today, which is a half mile long, and he was the one who discovered it back in 1980.
Don't go too far away.
It's not something you get to do every day, first of all. And you stand on the subway platforms and you look down those tunnels, and man, I've always wondered what it would be like down there. So, yeah.
Now, what are you expecting today? What do you like, dead people, ghosts?
Morlocks, I think that's what I'm looking for, right?
Now, this passageway you walk through up on top, that wasn't always there. Originally, when I first found the tunnel back in 1981, I was somewhat younger and thinner back in those days. And I crawled the distance from that manhole cover up to the opposite side of this concrete wall through a space that was 1.5 feet high with an air tank on my back and a gas mask on my face. This is actually the world's oldest subway, and it was built in the year 1844 by the Long Island Railroad. Now, the Long Island Railroad was not originally a commuter line like we know it today. Originally, it was an interstate rail connection that connected New York Harbor with Boston. All sorts of goodies were coming down the Erie Canal into New York Harbor, and they wanted to sell some of this stuff to European markets. So New York had to essentially connect itself with Boston by rail to get in on this. So this railroad line was actually built as part of international commerce. That was what its original function was. They filled it in and paved it over, and they capped off the air shafts. Then they wrote a bogus report saying the whole thing was filled in. So right now we're standing inside of a monument to 19th century political corruption.
We live on top of history, and so many times you think in America, our history is just right there on the surface, but there's really, it's like we all forget the 1800s for some reason, and there really was a lot going on.
Well, I was saying, especially in New York, because we tend to just tear everything down and build on top of it.
Right, and sometimes things that are supposed to be torn down, not so much with the tearing down.
Yeah, exactly. Or filled, in this case.
Right.
This was supposed to be filled, and clearly somebody got away with the boondoggle on that one.
I know, it's the most beautiful day, we've had in a year for underground.
Like 4 stories.